Some big news coming out today regarding the potential realignment of the Pac-12 and the Big 12, or more specifically about Washington State University and Oregon State University joining the Big 12 and potentially maybe sooner than we thought. As today on the Colorado Buffs live podcast, former Colorado and NFL guard Matt McChesney was on their podcast and dropped some inside information that we haven't heard yet.
I will say this. I've got two guys offered by Washington State and one committed. Jackson Cowgirl, the outstanding defensive end from Erie, is committed to Washington State. Jackson and Mason Moose Cowgirl is the tight end. He's a hell of a player. Jackson's hard commit to Washington State. He loves it. They love him. They also offered Ochoa, and they're all over Jordan and trying to get him to go commit.
So what are they telling them?
They are telling them that they're going to the Big 12. They are in active negotiation trying to get to the Big 12. They are talking to the commissioner, trying to get Oregon State and Washington State to the Big 12, and then the Pac-12 goes bye-bye. So, and I want that to happen. Washington State and Oregon State should not be left out. They shouldn't have to go make $6 million in the Mountain West. And you know what? Go watch those two teams play and tell me that they're not deserving of being in the Big
top 25 teams.
I mean,
Washington State just beat Oregon State. They are
the only thing I don't like.
So there's the clip from Denver Buffs Live. Now I'm going to bring on Dylan Howe from Coug Fan to fill us in on some more information. So Dylan, what are you hearing about this potential Big 12 realignment?
I mean, this was some certain smoke to start the day, and there just seems like there's been smoke brewing over the past week. Obviously we've got the dates for the current court case that's ongoing with the Pac-12 and the Pac-2. It's set for either November 13th or November 14th. And then you had the college football playoff board meeting yesterday in Big Ten country, and nothing was done in terms of figuring out, is it going to be 5+7, 6+6 in terms of what the college football playoff is. And Kirk Schultz obviously is on that board. And from the intel that a lot of people have gathered online, there's a Twitter account, Immaculate, and a few others have said that for what we can see, every change has to be unanimous on that board. And I'll tell you right now, if Kirk Schultz is on it, I don't think they're going to get anything done anytime soon. So now Oregon State and Washington State have the entire college football landscape kind of cornered. So all these schools that were leaving, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, SC to the Big Ten, the other schools, the Arizona schools, Colorado, and so on and so forth to the Big 12. Now these conferences have to get the Pac-2 squared away in order for business as usual to kind of continue. That's just a wild statement. I mean, the quote is go ahead.
I was just going to say, he said that Washington State University apparently is telling recruits that it's a done deal, and that
the quote is that, they're telling them that they're going to the Big 12. They're active in negotiations, talking to the commissioner, trying to get Oregon State and Washington State to the Big 12. And I tell you what, as a coaching staff, if you are telling obviously with any sort of recruiting process, there's crazy pitches. Coaches say things all the time, but this is another thing to say, that you're telling recruits that we're going to be in the Big 12. That better happen, because if it doesn't, the repercussions on the football program at Washington State might be irreversible.
The transfer portal would be insane.
Exactly. And that's something that we thought was going to happen kind of after, the second this season ends. If there's still no idea of where WSU is going to go, that transfer portal is going to look like a popcorn machine at your local cinemas. So Washington State, Pat Chun, everybody's trying to do the best they can, obviously, right now to kind of keep things tight-knit, continue all their contingency plans. Obviously, Schultz came out a couple of weeks ago and says there should be some sort of clearer picture on how much money and assets are in the Pac-12 within a 30-day span. And that's something that we've wanted to avoid, is these timelines, because Schultz has consistently put out timelines that just are not, that are still questionable. So Still a lot to go on, but from a source, a very good source is that there has been quite a bit of smoke this week in Bowler, which is obviously the AD office at Washington State.
Yeah.
The other aspect, we've had 3 recruits within the last 3 weeks commit in terms of names. And obviously, Wayshawn Parker was on the 26th. You beat out UW. And then you had Trey Davis, who announced yesterday, and you beating out TCU, Tulane, SDSU. Those are some prominent schools. Obviously, only one Power 5 on it right now, but Tulane and SDSU have also been in that somewhat water cooler mix of being added into the G5. So you've added 3 recruits in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Some verbal, some hard.
Do you know their positions and their strength of recruits? So the stars.
Yeah, so all 3 stars. Wayshawn Parker's a running back. Trey Davis and Kenny Worthy are both listed as athletes. Trey Davis plays wide receiver right now in high school. So that athlete, you never know what they might be. Hey, maybe he can't catch. He plays corner. Who knows?
Yeah. Any potential on a timeline? Is this potentially like this week, next week type of thing, or is it all just still up in the air?
I mean, maybe we can look at the timeline of now up until the next court meeting in Whitman County, which is November 3rd, November 14th. So, okay, hey, you get that timeline back in the next couple of weeks of how much money in the reserves, NCAA tournament units, the Pac-12 network, how much everything is. Come to an agreement with the other 10 schools and Oregon State, obviously knowing that, hey, we're going to get into the Big 12 if we can come to an agreement and then essentially dissolve all of the assets and all 12, equally share what that is going forward is, they're going away money to their new conferences. So
we know the impact of what it might look like for football specifically, but how does this impact other sports? Maybe basketball. You mentioned before off air that the Big 12 is the strongest conference in basketball. So what does that look like?
I mean, you take a look at Washington State's basketball program. They haven't made the NCAA tournament since Tony Bennett left in 2008. It's been 13, 14 years since the Cougs have tasted March Madness. And Kyle Smith has come in and really hit the ground running. He's been able to recruit 4-star prospects, Adrame Diangu, Mohamed Gay, who's now with the Atlanta Hawks, F.A. Abogidi. I mean, he has really turned Washington State into an international, let's find our niche. It's tough to bring people up to Pullman, so we're going to go international and we're going to bring guys in. With the Big 12, they are by far the best basketball conference in the country. And just by telling recruits that, hey, you want to play Kansas 2 times a year, the Kansas States, the Houstons of the world, well, hey, we're in their conference. We play against them. So you're only going to increase your audience and your brand by going into the Big 12 as a basketball program. And let me tell you this, Connor, Washington State, they've been one of the worst basketball programs nationally. When we're talking a desolate spot. Pullman was for some time before Tony Bennett got it up and going. And, since Klay Thompson left, there hasn't been much to cheer for. So a lot of Cougs are looking to hopefully see another step forward from the program that's been to back-to-back NITs as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Dylan, for your time. Looking forward to seeing how this thing progresses, and hopefully have you on soon to announce that Washington State, Oregon State are in the Big 12 now.
That's our only hope, right? But the smoke's been crazy over the past 4 or 5 months. Hopefully this is some fire to it.
So there you have it. We'll see what happens, and we'll keep you posted as soon as there's more information that comes out on this. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more sports content, as well as to stay up to date on the Big 12 potential realignment. We'll see you next time.